So, checking 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. My energy meter is quite low. So, can you guys help me out? Just unmute yourself and say good evening, Gabbys. Come on.
Good evening, Gabbys.
It has gone just a little bit. A bit more energy.
Good evening, Gabbys.
Not
Good
everyone
evening,
is there.
Gabbys.
Come on, more energy.
Good evening,
Gabbys.
Yes, now it's filling up. So that's fine. And since we were discussing that if someone has had tea or not, I guess all of you have had some kind of shot before this, a tea shot or a coffee shot. Now I tell you, this tea is a part of our culture. You invite your guests at home, tea is made. You go out with your friends, the tea stall is an option. And if you're not getting any ideas to write something, you just go and have tea. And even in Bangalore, the weather is amazing and it rains for quite a number of months. So in that also we enjoy tea a lot with pakoda or samosa. Or these are Indian dishes which we enjoy with tea. So I welcome all the guests and members and visiting Toastmasters to the 13th meeting of the Gabbys Online Toastmasters Club for a chat on tea. I'm sorry. Someone said something. Okay. So before your tea starts to getting cold, because I think most of you have started drinking it, I'll highlight few important key points. The key points are that your video should be on and your audio should be off. Your audio should be on only when you are called to or you need to speak. Regarding the topics of sex, religion, and politics, even though Toastmaster International does not put any restriction on speaking on these topics, at the Gabbys Online Toastmaster Club, we request all the speakers and role takers to be mindful and responsible and abstain from expressing any controversial views on these sensitive topics. Also, we urge you to be cognizant of the fact that we as a club practice diversity and inclusion in letter and in spirit, hence ensure there are no sexist or racist remarks or any such undertones which create hostility and discomfort for members and guests. Now, this meeting is being recorded and would be streamed on social media channels. If we don't have your consent for the same, kindly mention it to the Zoom master to pause the recording during your speech or your evaluation. Let me call upon the presiding officer of the day, Toastmaster Karthik Venugopal. Toastmaster Karthik Venugopal is working as a full stack developer and is a tech trainer, a history and a movie buff. He loves storytelling and listening to music. Over to you, Toastmaster Karthik.
Thank you for such a warm welcome, fellow Toastmasters and guests. That was our Toastmaster Chaitanya Prasad, our Sergeant at Arms. So can we have a big round of applause to him? A very good evening to all of you. It's my pleasure to be presiding over the Gabbys Online Toastmasters Club. So let me call upon this meeting to order in different style. I call this meeting to order meeting number 13 to order with this way. 10. I would like to welcome and acknowledge the presence of all guests to our meeting and would love to know a few bits about them, a few lines about your introduction. So we do have a guest, Faisal. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Faisal. I am from Abu Dhabi, UAE, United Arab Emirates. I am an engineer by qualification, working for a government public sector company here.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for introducing Faisal. And we are glad you are in the meeting of Gabbys. I hope you have a great learning and we do have a great learning from you. Thank you so much for joining us. So we do have other guest, Bushra Saba. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I am a student, PhD scholar at IIT Kharagpur, and I got to know about this meeting from Facebook. And just now I was scrolling through and I saw the pamphlet over there, so I registered and immediately I got the link and I've joined the meeting.
Thank you, first of all, for scrolling the Facebook and getting to know the link, and thank you for our VPPR for so diligently putting all our promotions, and thank you, Bushra, for joining us. I hope you also have a great learning and we too have a great learning from you. Thank you. So let's move on with our meeting today. So dear guests and visiting Toastmasters, so due to paucity of time, we may not be having a chance to take introductions of everyone. So, but would like to ask you to introduce yourself in the chat box, and please do join our WhatsApp guest group, and the link of WhatsApp guest group will also be shared in the chat. And for the benefit of guests, I would like to reiterate that Toastmasters is a home to people who wish to face their fear of public speaking. Not only that, if you love to connect and network with others, if you want to hone your leadership skills, Toastmasters is the best place for you. It's a safe place to learn, unlearn, and relearn. We are proud to carry forward this 100 years old legacy, which is spanned over 100 plus countries. So now also, I would like to say that what a big bash celebration we had of 3 years celebration of 3 years anniversary of Gabbys. I hope you all enjoyed a lot, and I'm still in a hangover of those 3 days of celebration. What a lovely and awesome celebration it was, with great learnings and great entertainment and great talent expo. That was too much fun. But apart from too much fun, I would want to give you a big news. What is that big news? You will be surprised to know what is that. And that big news is both Gabbys Online Toastmasters Club and the Gabbys Club have been awarded with President Distinguished Club with 9 DCP points, both clubs. So we are the only 2 clubs in the Division B and 2 of 3 clubs in the entire district to achieve this now in this program year. So pat your back, Gabbys, for achieving this, and thank you so much for everyone's contribution. I mean, to make this club a President Distinguished Club with whatever you have contributed, with your speeches, with your roles you have taken to make our clubs the President Distinguished Club. So can I all ask you to unmute yourself and give a big round of applause to our both clubs. And also would like to thank all the ExCom officers of both clubs for diligently working day and night background, which is not seen in the front ground. Thank you so much, all ExCom officers, to you. Thank you. So now, today's theme is deeply connected to all of us.
Karthik, before you proceed, I just wanted to thank the 2 vice president education of both the clubs. Heartiest congratulations to both Toastmaster Karthik Venugopal and distinguished Toastmaster Nancy Goyal. 6 out of 10 DCP points, 60% of the dashboard is on you. And you guys got this, you got inspired us, you kept us pushing. It's a huge achievement, getting 9 DCP points within 3 months of a program year. As a past district officer, I can't explain to you how big this is. So you deserve all the credit, both you and Nancy. You're truly inspirational leaders. Great job, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster sir. I'm truly feeling humbled by those kind words. Thanks a lot. Thank you for guiding us all the time. Thank you so much. So now, today's theme is deeply connected to all of us, especially to me because I'm a great tea lover, chai lover. Not only me, but many of us are a great tea lovers. Imagine, just imagine, it's drizzling in the evening, and you have pakoras in front of you, ready in front of you, and you're just waiting ebulliently for tea. And when it is ready, you're ready to enjoy by sipping every drop of tea with drizzling rain in front of you and having conversation with your loved ones. Isn't it the best day? Now imagine having all of this, pakoras, people, rain, but no tea. It makes a lot of difference, right? Yes. That's how we are connected with tea, and Indians especially are connected with tea a lot. And I do acknowledge all the global audience we have our global members like Sudharma and Gihan from Sri Lanka, and also would love to know what tea means to them in Sri Lanka, and that will be asked by our TMOD, which she will be taking forward. But also tea, as I said, it's an emotion. If you see every nook and corner of India, you will find a tea seller. That's how people are so addicted to teas. And there are many YouTubers of channels who have made too many memes and living on the, mainly displayed the tea as the greatest emotion of India. So with this, let me not take much time and hand over the stage baton to our Toastmaster of the day. So she is a fun-loving person and an enthusiastic learner who loves to learn and improve herself at every step of life. She basically is a patent engineer and has worked as a lecturer and a patent engineer at various law firms. And she believes that learn, unlearn, and enjoy, that what makes her move towards in this Toastmaster journey. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Vijayalakshmi. So before handing over to you, so as you suggested, as you requested, so I brought this tea. So as we do cheers with other beverages, I do tears. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthik. That was very sweet of you to give my introduction. Good evening, all the fellow Toastmasters and honorable guests. After celebrating the 3rd anniversary of the Gabbys Club for 3 days, we can't just jump into some serious meeting immediately, right? Do you all agree? So let's kick off with some tea talks before we begin, where we combine 2 wonderful things, tea and the engaging conversations. And before I start my role as a TMOD, I would like to tell you here, I am here as the part of my project, and I have an evaluator who is being evaluated for the purpose. So I would like to call upon my evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Akshay Singh, to read out the guidelines. And before I call upon the distinguished Toastmaster to read out the guidelines, I would like to introduce the evaluator who will be evaluating my project. So here is his introduction. Distinguished Toastmaster Akshay Singh, Yes, distinguished Toastmaster has over 4 years of active membership experience. He has held various club officer roles, mentored and sponsored clubs, and has been part of the corporate community and many online clubs. He is currently a charter member of 2 clubs. Akshay's achievements in Toastmasters include being recognized as the Toastmaster of the Year, Distinguished Area Director, and President, Distinguished Division Director. He also mentors the Western Suburb Gabbys Club, bringing Toastmasters to children under 18. Akshay enjoys poetry, cycling, solving Rubik's cubes, and collaborating with Toastmasters worldwide. Distinguished Toastmaster Akshay Singh, please read out the project guidelines.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijayalakshmi, and once again, good evening to each and every one of you. Our member today is attempting the project Manage Online Meetings. This is from the part Presentation Mastery, Level 4, Project 2. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice facilitating an online meeting or leading a webinar. As she has already mentioned, today she is going to manage and facilitate this particular Toastmasters meeting. We wish her all the best, and at the end, when the general evaluator calls upon, I shall share the feedback as to how Vijayalakshmi has managed the meeting and what are the areas where she can improve upon. Back to you, Toastmaster Vijayalakshmi.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Akshay Singh. Now, coming to the tea. Tea has deep-rooted cultural significance in Indian society and also in many other parts of the world. It plays a significant role in Indian hospitality, where offering a cup of tea to guests is considered a gesture of warmth and respect, isn't it? Meeting friends and family over a cup of tea has a significant impact. It fosters connections, strengthens relationships, and facilitates conversations. A lot can happen over a tea. So, without further ado, let's embark on this tea-filled journey together. Are you all ready? I think you all have your cup of tea now, isn't it? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, let's start with some tea tasting. So let's have a sip of tea. Cheers to you. Wow. The ambrosial aroma of my tea flavor just boosts my energy level. Now tell me, what's your favorite type of tea? And how is it doing to you? Yes, anyone? What's your favorite type of tea? You can unmute yourself and answer.
Ginger tea for me.
Ginger tea, yes,
Same
go on.
for me from Chai Point. Same.
Same ginger
Okay.
tea.
Okay, ginger tea. Okay, go on.
All great.
3, go on.
Yes.
I like lemon tea.
Lemon tea. Yes. I like chamomile tea.
I like the kava from Kashmir.
Kava, 6. Just counting on how many types of tea are coming out. Just go on. We have 6 types of tea now.
Assam tea, Darjeeling tea.
Yes, Assam tea, Darjeeling tea, types of teas. Yes.
Green.
Your favorite
Generally we are taking black tea.
black tea. Yes.
Strong Kadak tea.
Kadak tea, strong tea. Okay.
KT.
KT. Now, before we dive into the tea talks, let me introduce you to the structure of the meeting. Toastmasters meeting in general is divided into 3 sessions. The first session is the prepared speech session. The second one is the table topic speech session. And the last one is the general evaluation session. So, after tasting this tea, now comes the tea point. We all have that one particular tea stall or a shop nearby on the way to home or an office somewhere where we often visit for a break to gossip, catch up with friends, to share, to care, to find some solutions, right? No? Yeah, that tea adda, tea stall, tea joint, what you call. If you could share your type of tea or your favorite tea in the next part, be ready with your tea joint and with whom would you like to catch up over there when I come back. So before moving on to the prepared speech session, I would like to call upon the general evaluator of the meeting today. It's distinguished Toastmaster Ranjani Rao. She has been a part of Toastmasters for the last 8 years. She has played the role of secretary, VPE, president, charter president of clubs, and area director in 2015. Distinguished Toastmaster Ranjani Rao, may I request you to brief your role and introduce your team?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, for such an energetic start. And good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Thank you, first of all, for having me today as the General Evaluator. As a General Evaluator, my role would be to introduce the TAG L team, that is Timer, our counter, Grammarian, and the listener. Second would be, I would be calling the TAG L team again in the second part of the meeting to give their reports. I'll also be calling the evaluators to present their evaluation report on the speakers. And last, I would be also presenting my own report on the entire flow of the meeting. So for the benefit of the guest, for any successful meeting of the Toastmaster, we require 4 strong pillars who are indispensable to any Toastmaster meeting. So they are basically the timer, our counter, grammarian, and the listener. So let me call upon a Toastmaster who lives in Sri Lanka and is a fellow chartered accountant. She has an MBA from the University of Sri Jayewardenepura in Sri Lanka. She is interested in learning new things, getting to know new people, and traveling to new places. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Toastmaster Sudharma Parera, who's a timer of the day, and I would invite the timer to give the guidelines of the meeting. Over to you, Sudharma.
Thank you, General Evaluator. As timer, I will timetable topic speakers, prepared speeches, and evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using green, yellow, and red cards. For table topic speakers, time should be limited to 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise green card. 1 minute and 30 seconds, I will raise yellow card. At 2 minutes, I will raise red card. For icebreaker speeches, time should be limited to 4 to 6 minutes. At 4 minutes, I will raise green card. At 5 minutes, I will raise yellow card. At 6 minutes, I will raise red card. For speech evaluations, time should be limited to 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I will raise green card. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I will raise yellow card. At 3 minutes, I will raise red card. I will submit my report when General Evaluator calls upon the report. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster, for setting the guidelines. The next role is played by an electrical engineer at Morgalla Hydropower Project, Ceylon Electricity Board. He is from Sri Lanka, and outside Toastmasters, he loves playing badminton, gardening, and cooking. He is also passionate about welfare and charity activities. And today's our counter, let's welcome with a huge round of applause, Toastmaster Gihan Wickramasinghe. Over to you, Gihan.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Today, as the counter, I will listen and make a note unnecessary words and sounds used by all speakers and all role players of today's meeting. This report would focus on these 5 major areas: fillers such as inappropriate interjections, for instance, and, well, but, so, you know, use of crutch words similar to basically, actually, distinct, repetitive words or phrases in the form of I, this means, and unintentional long or short pauses made by the speaker. I will present my report when called upon by the General Evaluator. Or to General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gihan. The next role is that of a grammarian, and the role is played by a Toastmaster who is based out of Bangalore and works as in IT firm, loves to travel and cook. Let's welcome Toastmaster Bimpy Kumari with a loud round of applause. Over to you, Toastmaster Bimpy Kumari.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening, Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster and guest over here. Being a grammarian role, I have taken grammarian role for today. So end of the meeting, I will be sharing the report which consists 4 sections. So first section would be word of the day. Second one is good usage of the word. Third one is incorrect sentences being used. And fourth one is rhetorical devices. Say that rhetorical questions or metaphor or proverbs or quotes being used by any speaker. So the word of the day, I'm sharing my screen.
Bimpy, you can verbally say the word of the day.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. The word of the day is ambrosial or ambrosial. The meaning of that is exceptionally pleasing to taste or smell, or we can say incredible, delicious, or fragrant. The example is the food came, it was ambrosial. The food came, it was ambrosial. So I encourage each speaker to use this word. And over to you, General Evaluator of the day.
Yeah, thank you, Grammarian. As I see that you were about to present, screen for showing the word of the day. Nevertheless, you can type the word and the meaning in the chat box for the benefit of everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, surely.
And coming to the next role, it's that of a listener. The role is played by a chartered Toastmaster who is a certified image consultant and soft skills trainer by profession. Her interest in public speaking and leadership skills have made her join Toastmasters. She is a double, triple crown winner and double path breaker. She is a founder of Imaginatic Image Consulting Services. Let's put our hands together for Toastmaster Srilakshmi Hegde, who will be playing the role of a listener today. Over to you, Srilakshmi.
Thank you, ma'am, for the introduction. To be a good speaker, we need to be a good listener also. So as a listener, I'll make note of some important points. When at the end, I will come back with the questions. Hope everyone are listening to everyone, right? Speakers, TMOD, GE. We'll get to know at the end of the meeting. Over to you, GE, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Srilakshmi. So now it's time for me to hand over the stage back to Toastmaster of the day to take the proceedings further. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Now, let's move on to the first section of the meeting, which is prepared speeches. Until we come back over with the topic, everyone, keep sipping your tea. So let's move on to the first speech. Before I call upon the speaker, let me introduce the evaluator of the first speaker, Toastmaster Ayush Goyal. Toastmaster Ayush Goyal is from Jaipur, currently living in Hyderabad. He works as a business analyst in a startup. His hobbies include reading, writing, watching movies, dancing, and exploring new places. Toastmaster Ayush, I request you to provide the guidelines of your target speaker.
Good evening, everyone. My target speaker is Toastmaster Rakkesh. He is presenting his icebreaker speech. That is the first speech from his path, the motivation strategies. The purpose of this project is for the member to come up and introduce themselves to the club and understand the basic structure of the club. So all the best, Toastmaster Rakkesh, and back to you, Toastmaster Vijayalakshmi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ayush. Now, let me introduce you to our first speaker before calling him upon to speak. Toastmaster Rakkesh Ravi. Rakkesh is an MBA graduate from SP Jain School of Global Management and a banker by profession with almost 14 years of rich experience across global MNC banks. Currently, he is working with Standard Chartered GBS as a senior business analyst. He is passionate about all racket sports and is also a cricket enthusiast. Toastmaster Rakkesh Ravi, breaking the chills. Breaking the chills, Toastmaster Rakkesh Ravi.
Yeah. Everybody pities the weak, but it is jealousy that you have to earn. Many of us would say, aren't these words jumbled up? Why would you want to earn jealousy? Good evening, my Toastmaster of the day and fellow Toastmasters. Today, I, Rakkesh Ravi, a new inductee into this esteemed club, would like to briefly introduce myself to you all. I have been a career banker with almost 10 plus years of work experience spanning across geographies and across various domains in the risk management, internal audit, operations vertical. The list is endless. But I would like to call myself a banker by accident, as my passion and skill sets lied somewhere else. A game where the bails are burned to ashes. A game where umpires raise both their hands to signal a six. The only game where the whole of India watches with intent. Yes, you're right. I was a cricketer in the making, but a banker by accident. So given that it is cricket season, and also coincidentally it happens to be an icebreaker, let's break the ice with a cricket story. It was the year 2010, and I was a rookie batsman in the world of cricket, barely able to take guard, let alone score a century. My college cricket team desperately needed an all-rounder to fill in the shoes of Vivek Gupta, our star all-rounder who was badly injured. My captain, wanting to fill in the gap, was quick to induct me into the playing squad of my college, HR College of 2010. I felt like a tick in the box. As the first ball I faced, I was bowled for a duck. Sad and dejected, I went back to the dugout, cursing my luck on why I was even playing. My teammates had a rollicking time balking me and showing me what a liability I was to the team. My chills and jitters had begun as my hands were ice cold. I needed the warmth. I needed to break the chills. Then suddenly I could see my moment of bright light, the warmth that I needed to break my ice within. I could see a tall, dark figure who walked up to me, placed his arms on my shoulders and told me, "Son, you have the will. All you need is the direction. I can see raw talent in you. I saw you taking guard. You were nervous and you need to break the ice." And these words were enough for my mind to give me a second chance. My mentor, Ganesh, worked on me tirelessly and I performed like a well-oiled machine at the nets. And after 3 months of solid practice, I walked up to my captain and said, "Samir, I will open the batting this time." His smirk was evident of his disdain for me. But to everyone's amazement, I performed with passion and with pride as I scored my first century in just 35 balls. The fastest ever scored in college club cricket. Samir, my captain, was awestruck, and my coach and my mentor Ganesh was beaming with pride as he could taste my ambrosial innings. I truly found my guru back then, or should I say, my guru found me. That was my spotlight moment when I truly went from a zero to a hero. Or should I say, that was a moment when a 16th man in a college cricket club was touted as the star batsman of the club. Yes, it was at that moment when my teammates who pitied and mocked me now envied me. The moment when pity turned to envy, I looked at myself, patted myself on the back, as I truly had earned jealousy. Till date, me and my guru often reminisce about the past events as our bonding as guru and shishya, or mentor and protege, has only strengthened with time. I look up to him for advice in almost all walks of life, not just sports, as I believe leadership is sector agnostic. But it turned out I couldn't make it far beyond the Ranji stage, as I had all the wherewithals, but lacked a benefactor to bear it all. So here I am at Toastmasters, delivering my icebreaker today, working behind the desk in a corporate job. So now I'm sure I have convinced you all on why not to be a cricketer despite having the goods. Or have I convinced you all to earn your envies in all walks of life by breaking the chills? The choice is yours. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Wow, what an amazing speech. And Toastmaster Rakkesh, I can relate to, we all have will, we just need to take the directions. It was wonderful listening to. Let's have a standing ovation for the icebreaker speech. Everyone, please give the standing ovation.
Thank you.
Now, moving on to the next speech. Let me introduce you to the evaluator of the second speaker, Toastmaster Khushbu Modi. Toastmaster Khushbu is a dual member of the Mumbai Toastmasters and Goregaon Speakers community. She has joined Toastmasters in December 2021. Toastmasters is her passion. By profession, she is a second-generation entrepreneur. She is also part of a family business unit in the field of manufacturing the steel articles. Toastmaster Khushbu, please read out the guidelines of your designated speaker.
Hi. The purpose of the project is for the member to introduce themselves to the club and learn the basic structure of public speaking. My speaker is attempting his L1 Project 1 speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Khushbu. Now, before calling upon the Toastmaster Nagesh, distinguished Toastmaster Nagesh Ramamurthy, who needs no introduction among our club members, but for our honored guests, I'll introduce distinguished Toastmaster Nagesh Ramamurthy. He is passionate about his work at home, in a profession, or with Toastmasters. From an early age, he was passionate about engineering and was fascinated by the fact how buildings were built. The thrill of construction projects got him to be part of the building from the age of 18. He says life gave him early opportunities outside of Toastmasters, and Toastmasters happened to him very late. Distinguished Toastmaster Nagesh Ramamurthy, my first choice, a second choice. My first choice, a second choice, distinguished Toastmaster Nagesh Ramamurthy.
Am I audible? Give me a check, please. Thank you. Sitting in the shade, I stared at the aluminium bucket filled with water in the hot sun. Shivering in the cold, I was waiting for it to get heated up, for me to take a bath. After an hour, when my mother announced that the water is hot enough for a bath, my cousin quickly grabbed it for his bathing. I cried for next 2 hours until another bucket heated up. I was a crybaby with no tears in my eyes. I was an attention seeker. In 4th standard, we were allowed to go to the grounds and play games which big brothers used to play. The football. I never got a chance to kick the ball in any of the game throughout the year. I just ran from one side to another. I was irritated. I kicked the game. I never played any outdoor game till 10th standard. I compared myself to others when my board exams were near. I was falling behind and was very upset about my preparation. My childhood irritation continued. I became very volatile to such an extent that I decided to give a skip to my exam. But my mother pushed me into it, and I was happy that the results were first class. I was determined to get into engineering. I pushed myself here to do well in my studies and was very aggressive in my college work. Finally, I secured a seat. Fully knowing that behaviors that supported me in the past, I continued to be sincere and completed my graduation. Like everybody else, I also had hopes, aspirations, dreams. Early employment was necessary, and I staged stayed unwaged for 1 year. I withdrew myself from the world. I was a loner, shy, reserved for a couple of years. When I was employed, I got many opportunities to learn well. Occasionally, my past was still haunting me. I told myself, you would do work double the time that you have spent on this planet. That way, I was cautious and curious and tried to be complete in my learning. As I grew in my workplace, I rose very quickly, emerged well, and became distinguishable. In the real world competition, I left many people behind. Quick success, visibility, and ascent made me very aggressive and rude. As the years progressed, I was domineering and bossy with my team. Those were the days for war for me, where winning was the only option. Perhaps not getting a chance to kick the ball in the ground when I was young was playing in my subconscious. But destruction galore. As I returned home from my work each day, I carried those negative behaviors home. Today, I regret those excessively, since relationship soared very quickly, outcomes diminished, health deteriorated. I started witnessing significant damages. I decided to give myself a second chance. To balance winning and losing, I sought support. But 20 long years, valuable years had just passed. I was late when I realized how being considerate, polite, and pleasant were also excellent skill and can lead to great successes. By behaving civilized, cordial, and courteous, we brought great deal of collaboration in the team, after which we had some finest successes in our organizational history. As Steve Jobs says, sell ice creams if you have to please everyone. Not everyone indeed understands the language of politeness. There have been instances during my collaboration phase, I would say, where I have been bossy, aggressive, and authoritative, but all in moderation. The second chance I gave to my behavior helped me polish, practice, and propel more acceptable skills in team collaboration. Nature and nurture begets your behavior, but self-awareness, when it comes early, ruins less. Back to you, TMOD.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Nagesh Ramamurthy. Let's give a standing ovation for the icebreaker speech. It was wonderful listening to you and your experiences. Next, moving on to the third speaker. So, I would like to introduce you to the evaluator of the third speaker firstly, Toastmaster Preeti Jain. Preeti is an ICF certified life coach and corporate NLP trainer. Her mission is to inspire and empower the fellow individuals. She is an avid reader, a go-giver, a dancer at heart, and a highly spiritual being. Toastmaster Preeti, please provide the guidelines of your designated speaker.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Vijaya, and a very warm good evening to each one of you present here. It's a icebreaker marathon. I was just feeling I should have got the iced tea along with me. So I could say one line that purpose of the speech is ditto, 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 but it's still to play my role. The target speaker, Toastmaster Chitrakshi Vij, is attempting her icebreaker speech today. That's in innovative planning pathway. And the purpose of this is to just introduce her to this club once again in a brand new manner. All the very best, Toastmaster Chitrakshi Vij. And timer, please note the time is 4 to 6 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Preeti. Now I shall introduce our third speaker before calling upon to speak. Toastmaster Chitrakshi Vij. She is a triple path breaker in 9 months of her Toastmasters journey and secretary of the Gabbys Toastmaster Club. She has empowered over 6,000 individuals to secure promotions, ace interviews, and excel in their visual and vocal communication. With an adventurous spirit and a love for off-road journeys, she fearlessly navigates life just like her trusty old G. Driven by her passion for making a meaningful impact, Chitrakshi aspires to positively transform the lives of 1 million individuals by the year 2033. Toastmaster Chitrakshi, a long way to go. A long way to go, Toastmaster Chitrakshi.
Oh, my life is over. I just had a breakup. I am never dating anyone in my life ever again. No, no, no. I don't think I can trust men. How? Someone broke up with me. I had a breakup. You're supposed to inform the other person. We're supposed to have a conversation. You can't just break up like that. Oh. Hey, chill, dude. Let's go out for drinks. We'll be fine. You're just 22. Who cares? Come, come, come. Let's go. Oof. I don't feel that bad about a breakup anymore. 3 in the morning? Why do I even care? Who wants to do this? Yes, I'm so happy I'm single. There's a huge life left for me. I am going to live it up. Yes. But now I gotta sleep. Okay. What happened? It's just 5 in the morning. I slept 2 hours ago. Are you guys crazy? Hey, listen. We got a perfect thing for your breakup. You just had a breakup. Let's celebrate it by doing something you won't have done 2 weeks ago. Let's drive to Rishikesh and let's go out there and bungee jump. Yes, let's do it. No, hated it, but that's an experience I'm never going to forget. That's how I did my first jump. Some years later, I was in Dubai with a few of my friends celebrating somebody's 30th birthday and wondering what to do next. We've done everything we came to Dubai for. What now? Hey, let's skydive. I've heard it's good. It's going to be the same price no matter when you book it. Let's just do it. Hey, that's an awesome idea. And woo, just like that, I got a little over my acrophobia and went on to jump and do a great skydive, an experience I talk about every time I can. A few more years later, hey guys, I was thinking of going to Himachal. You know, the works, going to Manali. It's just COVID just got over. People have started traveling. So I spoke to 4 or 5 of my friends, and I think they're good to go. Can we do it? This was planned 2 months in advance. 3 days before the trip, all my friends backed out. None of them wanted to go. And I was left with no plan at all, except my best friend who didn't have an option but to go with me. So, well, we went along. We didn't go. We were not sure. One night before the trip, I get a call from another one of my friends who says, listen, we're planning a trip across Leh Ladakh and then going all the way back. All of that would be off-roading. Do you think you're interested? We're just 5 guys on a bike. So if you want to go, why not? How would I say no? I already wanted to go to a trip. They all bailed out, but someone gave in. So sure, let's do it. And that's how I did 2,500 kilometers in a Jeep off-road 1 whole month. No phone, no network, no people for the longest. Only dust in my mouth, on my face, everywhere around me. And an experience I cherish and will cherish forever. can notice, there is a pattern to all my traveling, and that pattern also resonates with how my life usually is. Spontaneous. For the longest, all my favorite plans, all my best travels have been very spontaneous. And those that couldn't be spontaneous, which required a visa or something that required forms to fill that made my career, were all done by people around me. So whether it was my father filling up all those forms, sitting on a bed, 20 forms in a row, so I could get into a college that I wanted, so that I could be an engineer, or my friends booking that entire trip, filling out the visa forms and giving it out there so that I could travel across Europe. It was always something I was not good at doing. Having kept that in mind, when I joined Toastmasters and after triple paths that I've completed, I realized that those paths were not very well planned. I just knew leadership was something that was on my mind at the moment and I did it. But it got me thinking. 3 paths later, am I sure why I chose the first path, the second path, or the third path? No, I wasn't. And with things piling up in my life, from just 1 or 2 responsibilities at work, now I had taken on a lot of responsibilities which were adding to my growth and career. Spontaneity was great, but if I kept staying spontaneous, where would my goals go? They would just become dreams or wishes. And that's when I realized that there was time to plan life. I chose the path of innovative planning to understand where life now is going to take me and how I can align my goals with my life. With this path, I hope to discover a spontaneous me who's also planned, and I can travel to all those places that my friends or family cannot plan for me and do things that I really want to. So plans are always random and they're the best plans. But when you travel with great planning, life happens. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Everyone, let's have a standing ovation for the icebreaker speech. It was nice listening to you, Toastmaster Chitrakshi. Yes, you have a long way to go with the goal and your alignment. I agree. Now, let me tell you all, there will be no polling for the best speaker today, as we have all icebreaker speeches today. Now, come on, let's get into some more tea talks. Where did we stop? Yes, we have stopped at our tea point, right? Now the game starts. What are the tea talks that can happen over a cup of tea? Anyone would like to tell? Yes, anyone would like to share? Anyone? Which is your favorite tea point or a tea talks? Nobody? Okay. Let me tell you which is my favorite tea point. My favorite tea point is just outside my home. I have one small tea coffee where I spend all my timings over there. And it's my favorite tea point where I like to go with myself. That is my most favorite tea point, and I would like to go with myself. Now, coming to the next part of this meeting, we have the table topic session. And I know you all have been awakened by the favorite tea that you have been sipping on, isn't it? Yes or no? I don't hear anything.
Yes.
Thank you. So it's time to broaden our minds with some impromptu speeches in the table topic session. And before handing over to the table topic master, I would like to introduce our table topic master, Toastmaster Mitesh. Toastmaster Mitesh is a freelance. I will introduce him before he takes up on the stage. Toastmaster Mitesh is a freelance hairstylist and is currently learning Western vocal, playing traditional tabla, and also playing lawn tennis. Toastmaster Mitesh, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Vijayalakshmi. Impromptu speaking is a great platform to develop and improve your speaking, listening, organizing, and thinking skills. I am the topic master for today's meeting, and I'll be facilitating the table topic session for tonight. In this session, all guests and Toastmasters visiting Toastmasters in the meeting will be invited to participate in the table topic session. All speakers are anticipated to speak for at least a minute and maximum of 2 minutes. All speakers will get 30 seconds grace. Now let's start the table topic session for tonight. So may I please know who wants to volunteer for the table topics?
Ravisha is raising her hand. You can call Ravisha.
Yeah. Just before we start with Ravisha, I'll be posting Diana's table topic question in the chat. It will be read out by distinguished Toastmaster Saurabh Datta at the very end. Thank you. Toastmaster Ravisha, your question is a cup of tea an excuse for gossip, and why? Toastmaster Ravisha, is a cup of tea an excuse for a gossip, and why? Over to you, Toastmaster Ravisha.
Well, if you categorize what is gossip, in terms it's said that it's something that's unproductive and people are simply gossiping. But you, of course, need an excuse to sit. And I think tea, or what we call chai, is a perfect companion. That hot cup of tea with steaming and the variety of spices that go into it are the variety of things that we talk over a cup of tea. So, your gossips from your household chores to your friends to what is happening in the lane all happen very diligently in a very spicy, hot, sizzling manner over a cup of tea. So, if you see, this cup of tea is very versatile. This can happen and make and change relationships. I've seen people getting married over a cup of coffee. People come and gossip and link up people and make sure that the neighbor's son gets married to neighbor's daughter. We'll make sure to criticize and evaluate what the other person across the street is wearing, how much money they're spending on their interiors, everything. And of course, one cannot just aimlessly walk into somebody's house and say, I'm just coming over because I want to gossip. So it's a beautiful excuse of saying, it's evening or it's morning and I have nothing to do. Why don't we sit over a cup of coffee and boggle our brain? And what happens next is definitely gossip or sometimes even productive. But if you ask me, the Indian society post 4:30, it is the perfect companion for having a nice and spicy gossip. So all the very best to all of you who are enjoying their cup of tea in the evening. And as the weather progresses towards winter, I'm sure we would need more of these hot chais and hot gossips. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Well done, Toastmaster Ravisha. Thank you for your views on the topic. Now we move on to the next speaker. May I please know who wants to volunteer for the table topic? I can see Toastmaster Jyoti raising her hand. Yes, Toastmaster Jyoti, would you like to volunteer for the topic, please? Toastmaster Jyoti, your topic is best conversation with someone over a cup of beverage. Toastmaster Jyoti, best conversation with someone over a cup of beverage. Best conversation with someone over a cup of beverage.
When recently when I went to Bangalore, I stayed at my sister's place, and my sister asked her husband, why do you prepare tea and then wake me up? So he has beautifully answered that. You know, my mom always, for 25 years, she always used to prepare tea for my dad. And then my dad never ever prepared tea for her. But I feel that at least if I can prepare tea for 1 day or 2 days, I can show some love. And I was hearing that conversation over tea in the conversation between my sister and my brother-in-law. So he has beautifully said that when you are drinking tea or coffee, you're just not only you're having conversation, but you're sharing some love and then creating memories. And it's not about only the women preparing tea for her husband, but also it's the other way around. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jyoti, for your insight on the topic. Now, may I call upon guest Bashra to volunteer for a table topic, please?
Yes, yes, table topic master.
Yes, guest Bashra, would you prefer a cup of tea or coffee, and why? Guest Bashra, a cup of tea or coffee, and why? Over to you,
Tea.
Guest Bashra.
Tea or coffee? This has been a long debated topic, and most importantly in Toastmasters. What do you prefer? Tea over coffee or coffee over tea? I think I have heard many speakers speak on this before, but my take would be slightly different today. Because I am a research scholar and I need to sit in the lab from morning till evening. So what do? I cannot work the entire day for sure. I am the most crazy person in my lab. I need a break after every 1.5 hours. So what happened today was, I went to the lab late, but I was in no mode of working. So I slightly tilted my chair back, looked at another girl. She was working from some time. And then again, I looked at her. I kept looking at her till the time she looked back at me. And then I said, Chale kya? And then she looked at somebody else. He was also working. And then he looked at her back. And then he said, Chale kya? And then like this, we formed a group of 5 people in the lab. And then all of us headed towards the so-called tapri, that is a chai spot near to our department. And as we were going there, we had so many stories to share. We as researchers, we keep on scrolling our mouse and then scrolling our tabs and then looking into the monitors. But then we all had our stories. We all said what we wanted to share with each other. Somebody was bragging about the supervisor. Somebody was faintly and very sadly and very disturbedly was talking about a child who was not very normal. There was another scholar who was bragging about the publications that he had made. And I was there listening to their stories, waiting for my turn to come. And as we approached towards the canteen and we were sitting and then finally we were composed, I got my chance to speak. And it was then that I realized that we all had something to say, something to speak. We all needed a break. It was just the tea that gave us a break to come and gather and talk together. So when I sat there, I shared my story. I said, see, tea was just an excuse. I did not want to work. I was very bored of sitting on that reclining chair and I really needed a break. So everybody sooner or gradually or after some time, they all agreed to the point that even they wanted to talk, they wanted to share, or they just wanted to brag. So this way, today's evening, finally it closed like that we were talking, we were sharing, and finally we also crossed one of our faculties. But yeah, tea was more than just chai or tea break. It was disclosure or opening up of our stories with us. And I'm sure you all have your chai stories or coffee stories. But to conclude, finally, I prefer tea over coffee. Thank you.
Thank you, guest speaker Pashra, for your views. Now we move on to the next topic. May I know who wants to volunteer for the next topic, please? Guest, are you a visiting Toastmaster, Faisal, or a guest? Speaker Faisal, may I have you to volunteer for a table topic, please?
You can ask others.
All right. Anyone wants to volunteer for a table topic, or shall I call out?
Toastmaster Mitesh, I would like to take a table topic. I'm time of Sudharma.
Yeah, I'll back up Sudharma. You can give a topic to Sudharma, Mitesh.
All right, thank you. So, Toastmaster Sudharma, your topic is describe your reaction if you are not allowed to drink tea. Describe your reaction if you're not allowed to drink tea. Toastmaster Sudharma, over to you.
Thank you, thank you. It is a wonderful topic because last month I experienced such kind of experience. Once I sat with my boss to finalize some divisional reports, I couldn't drink my tea evening. Then I went to that lunchroom and asked tea, but the machine was closed. I was very disappointed and I was very upset because I can't live without tea. I want to drink morning, evening, I want to drink tea, otherwise it was not fulfilled like that. Then next day I went to my boss room and I told, Madam, I will drink tea and come to the meeting. Then she told, oh, it's good, but can't you survive without tea? I told, no, I want to drink tea and do my works. That is my reaction towards if we was not able to drink tea or something, it was my reaction actually. Other thing is when I am in office also, if it is the time was delayed, today also same kind of experience happened. I came to short leave, but I couldn't drink tea. Just after coming home, I prepared a tea and drank. That was my reaction because I can't forget my tea. I want to drink it. After late hours also, I want to drink to fulfill my need. Or do you take out of it, Master?
Thank you, Toastmaster Sudharma, for volunteering for the.
Excuse me, sorry, I could not make the mic on. I am Faisal speaking. Sorry
right.
for that. Next time, okay?
All right.
Sorry.
Would you like to volunteer for the topic, Faisal?
Yeah, tell me. I will try.
All right. Thank you. Your topic, Faisal, is do you reckon tea is healthy and why? Toastmaster Faisal, do you reckon tea is healthy and why? Over to you, Toastmaster Faisal.
Good evening, everybody. Tea is a refreshing drink, not really healthy, but we can say when it is required, when you need to have a sparing time with the friends or whatever, any break or just to make your mind refresh, tea is always good that way as a beverage. But in the long term, if you see, you may have a problem, not seriously, but if it is avoided, it is always good. That way, tea, we cannot say it is bad, but it is a refreshing drink and to have better friendship with people. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker Faisal, for your insights on that topic. Now, may I call upon guest Lim?
Okay, thank you.
Can you please volunteer for the topic? Guest
Yes,
Lim?
yes. Yes.
What if tea prices are inflated, just like the prices of tomatoes recently in India? What if tea prices are inflated?
Can you repeat the question again? Sorry, I didn't get it.
Over to you.
Can you repeat the question
what
again?
if tea is not? Yeah. What if tea prices are inflated? What if tea is not affordable?
Okay.
Just
so
like
what is
recent inflated prices of tomatoes in India.
okay? What is if tea price is inflated? Is it okay? Thank you.
Yes.
What
Tea is
if
not affordable.
what if tea is not affordable? Well, I think this question can be answered differently according to culture. If you ask a Chinese who drink tea every day, that problem will become a big disaster. As actually some of the Chinese tea are very expensive because tea are known for its medical benefits. So as some of the tea is actually can reach 1,000. So for some who really love tea and those who just want to drink tea, then a benefit to their body. And of course, it is a great disaster. That's why I feel that, and if it is for culture where it is a normal thing or a must-have, I think for Indians, it's a must-have to have a tea every day, then they really have big problem if the price went higher. They have to find and think of way of maybe change their usual norm of drinking tea, trying new beverage, which is not an easy task to do actually. So yeah, I believe if it is inevitable, the price is will go high, then we really have to try hard and get a new beverage to try. Thank you. Back to table topic master.
Thank you, guest speaker Lim, for your insight on the topic. Now, may I DTM Sauradatta to volunteer for the topic, please?
Yes, please.
Yes. What will happen if tea is banned? DTM Sauradatta. DTM Sauradatta, what will happen if tea is banned?
If
Over to you.
Thank you. I think it's a very easy question to answer. If tea is banned, we'll drink coffee or beer or wine or whiskey. There are so many options out there. I don't think we really need to stress over tea being available or not being available, because it's about having that right cuppa of that hot milk or the cold drink that you're looking for. See, I'm from Calcutta and I have been more of a tea person all throughout my life. I mean, people who have been to Calcutta or know anything about Calcutta, you know that sentiments in Calcutta, conversations in Calcutta, love in Calcutta, politics in Calcutta, controversies in Calcutta, corruption in Calcutta, everything happens over a cup of tea. And when I moved to South India, the southern part of the country, it was all coffee. tea here was a very, very, it was a very scarce commodity. Good tea is a scarcer commodity because you really don't find when I say good tea, I'm saying the kind of tea that we enjoy in Calcutta. We don't really find in this part of the country to our liking. I very quickly switched over to coffee. And when I did that, I realized that tea is not a drink or coffee is not a drink. It's an emotion, right? So it's not, you don't fill the cup with a drink. You actually fill the cup with an emotion. And that's why conversations happen over tea or coffee or a beer. So if tea is banned, fret not. Find your emotional anchor in other drinks, right? Find it in coffee, find it in beer, find it in wine, find it in whiskey, and you'll find it somewhere, I'm pretty sure. Now, once you do that, then what you need to do is you need to have a bigger problem to solve. And the bigger problem is that having a quality conversation. And that is where the importance of any good drink comes in, because the drink gives an opportunity to engage, to look at each other, not fiddle with your phone, not fidget with your fingers, and instead focus on the conversation. So for me, I would really not worry. I would not lose sleep over tea getting banned. I have my options ready already. I have my alternatives ready already. And I'm ready to switch anytime as long as I've got good company. Someone like a Karthik or someone like a table topic master. Or if I'm lucky enough, maybe fly down all the way to Toronto and Dina. Over to you, Toastmaster, table topic master.
Thank you, Saurav Datta, for your insight on the topic. Now, may I please call Fida Faisal to volunteer for a table topic?
Yes, sir.
Master Ritesh, I think this will be the last one. Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, this is the last one. May I know who are you, a guest speaker or a visiting Toastmaster, Fida Faisal?
A visiting.
All right.
Yes.
Visiting Toastmaster Fida Faisal, my question to you is, who makes the best cup of tea at home and why? Who makes the best cup of tea at home and why? Toastmaster Fida.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
You're audible. Thank you.
Without second thought, I would definitely tell it's my mom who makes the best tea. Like, I've experimented with all kinds of teas, all kinds of proportions, but I can never make up to the kind of flavors that my mom bring in. It's something about the kind of tea that mothers make that makes it unique about the flavor in it itself.
I think there is some network issue.
We'll wait until 2 minutes until the time is up. Will that do?
Mitesh, since we are short on time and since Meeta has also raised her hand for some time,
Right.
we can probably go with Meeta by the time Fida comes back if she's having
All
an
right. All right. So Toastmaster Meeta, would you like to volunteer on the same topic? What is who makes the best tea at home and why?
Yes, sure.
Over to
Yes,
you,
sure.
Toastmaster Meeta.
Okay, thank you for the topic. So the best tea at home, my brother prepares a lot. He makes such a beautiful tea. Like people, like our relatives, they'll come and they'll say, okay, no problem. Pritam, you will make the tea. We want to have it. So it is the best tea he prepares, the proportion. And I don't know how he has learned, but he always loves to do it for any guest comes. So that is the way I feel that he's the person he enjoys to do tea for any guest. And I prefer always, okay, fine, he's doing, leave it. I don't want to make it. And if chance is given, I'll also get it for that tea for others also, like at Gabbys also. But that is the best way. I can say that, yes, cup of tea is the best from my brother's side. Thank you. Back to table topic.
Well done, Toastmaster Meeta, for such an interesting response. Thank you. Now may I hand over it. That is it for the table topic session for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed the session. May I now hand over it to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Vijayalakshmi. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mitesh. Wow, we have spoken a lot about the tea. Now, I would like to ask the Zoom Masters to poll for the best table topic speaker. So until you all vote, let's have some tea trivia. I will ask you some few quick questions over a tea, and I'll just call out the names and you can answer if you know. Okay, so let's get started. Which of the following tea names translate to black dragon in English? Yes, black dragon in English. The options are Darjeeling, Oolong, Pekoi, and Jasmine. Anyone? Toastmaster Sudharma? Anyone?
Oolong.
It's Oolong. Yes, correct. Next one. What tea is named as the name of the British Prime Minister? What tea is named as the name of the British Prime Minister? Hint, it has 2 words. It has 2 words in it. Toastmaster Karthik? Toastmaster Gihan? Okay, let me answer. It's Earl Grey. Earl Grey was the Prime Minister from 1830 to 1834. Next one. Which Indian tea is the base for Irish breakfast? Easier one. Which Indian tea is the base for Irish breakfast? Indian tea. Toastmaster Gihan, any guess?
Northeastern tea.
Northeastern tea. Yeah. Toastmaster Preeti, any guess?
Yeah, it's the Assam tea.
Yes, it's the Assam tea. You are right. And this one, my favorite. Which herbal infusion is known for its calming and soothing properties, often consumed before bedtime?
Chamomile.
Chamomile tea. Yes, you are right. Now, would you like to answer or let us know if there is any fascinating story that happened over a tea shortly and quickly? Anyone? Toastmaster Chaitanya, can you come up? Are you there?
Yes, Toastmaster of the day, Vijaya.
Yes.
It's not a very fascinating story, but yes, it's a story. So during my college days, there was a shop where we used to go and have tea, and there in Jaipur, kachori is quite famous. So we used to have kachori and tea. Now, there we had a ledger with the shop owner. So we never paid on that time. He used to record all the everything that we bought in the ledger, and we used to pay him at the end of the month. Now, since our bills were getting higher, we decided not to buy tea more regularly. So he was very smart. So once we went there, we just ordered 1 plate of kachori, and he instantly started making tea and said, "Okay, sir, so you're not going to buy tea today? Okay, no problem. I'll keep it aside." Then, once someone tells you that it is being prepared, you just get into that mood. And then he used to give us, and that way he used to always increase our bill every month. So that's one story I have.
I know, like at the end of the month, getting that bill. Yes. And now quickly and lastly, Toastmaster Gihan, come up, like what is the tea trend in Sri Lanka? Let us know more about the tea trend in your country.
In Sri Lanka, normally in evening, in morning, and when we need to have some break, literally we will go up with a cup of tea. At the evening, when we come back after works, we sit on the table or sofa and have a cup of tea by looking TV or by chatting with our family member or some friends. That's how we enjoy the tea. Over to TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gihan, for sharing. The same here. Even we have the tea culture in the family where all the family members sit around and try to share and spend time, quality time together over a cup of tea. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, we are coming to the last section of the meeting, that is general evaluations. Over to you, distinguished Toastmaster Ranjani Rao, for further evaluations of the meeting.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening once again, fellow Toastmasters and guests. So this is the final segment. We will start this off with the evaluation round, where we already saw 3 amazing icebreaker speeches. So I will be calling the first evaluator. The first speech was delivered by Toastmaster Rakkesh, and to give the feedback, I will invite the first evaluator, Ayush Goyal, and we usually follow CRC method: comment, recommend, and comment. The time limit, I reiterate, it is 2 to 3 minutes. 2 minutes, I'll show the green card. The timer will be showing the green card, 2:30 yellow card, and 3 minutes red. And I wish the evaluators all the very best. Over to you, Ayush.
Thank you, General Evaluator, and congratulations, Toastmaster Rakesh. It was indeed one of the best icebreakers that I have heard. So, as for the objective of the project, that is introducing yourself to the club, you did that perfectly. So, you were bang on with the purpose of the speech. You introduced about your professional life, how you what your childhood was like, and your hobby, how you got into cricket, and you built a story around that. So that got you going with the structure of the speech as well. You had a good beginning, great story, and a good ending with a message. So that set the tone for the structure of the speech as well. The whole speech had a good combination of good pauses, good eye contact, good hand gestures, and good tone and vocal variety. The tone kept the audience interested in the whole story. They were engaged because it was a complete storytelling form of speech that you gave while you were describing your cricketing story. Now, even within the story, it was full. You included a problem, the process of solving it, and the resolution, and you came to the conclusion of the speech. Now, even if it was an icebreaker speech, I do not have many recommendations, as it was full of everything was almost perfect. The only recommendation that I have is with the conclusion and the message, which could have had a bit of built up to it, because I felt that as compared to your story and the body, the conclusion was a little short, which could have been increased to to give a bigger impact to it. So overall, it was a great speech with a great structure, good transitions, great vocal variety and body language. Just improving on the conclusion bit would take the speech to next level. All the best for your future speeches, and back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Ayush. Now, the second speech I would call the evaluator, Khushbu Modi, to present her evaluation report. Over to you, Khushbu.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Life always offers you a second chance, even if that is after 20 years. This prodigious message was encapsulated by my speaker, Toastmaster Nagesh, today. Congratulations, Nagesh, on doing this. What I love the most about Nagesh's speech today, 3 things. Number 1, he had a personal, authentic narrative, which was redemptive in nature, and all the events were in chronological order, right from his childhood days of being a crybaby to his engineering college days and perhaps to leading a team. It was so easy for me to follow his entire story from start to finish because it was arranged in a chronological fashion. Good job there. Number 2, the use of sensories. Toastmaster Nagesh literated his speech using sensories. He displayed his gift of gab and word wizardry by doing this. Talking about a football or an aluminium bucket that he had, or perhaps running or bathing, not only told his story, but this actually showed me his story, giving me an immersive experience sitting in the audience. Number 3, close the loop. The moment Toastmaster Nagesh spoke about how he was afraid to kick the football in his childhood days, He brought it back again to his engineering days and then finally to him leading a team. Now, this immediately created a recall value in my brain. And I realized that it's the childhood trauma, the childhood adversities that he faced as a child are all coming back and haunting him in his present situation, which he later overcame. Now, just like Lionel Messi, Toastmaster Nagesh, the way he scores by kicking the football, the way he scores his goals, for Toastmaster Nagesh to achieve the highest goals that he has in public speaking, I have two quintessential recommendations. Number one, well, you can actually have a foundational phrase, which was the title of your speech, having a second chance. Since you had a redemptive story, I would have liked Toastmaster Nagesh to reiterate this phrase again, talking about when he spoke about his engineering days or perhaps his childhood days, repeating the same message again and again and hammering it in the end as a call to action. So that in the future, whenever I think of this redemptive story, I know it is an icebreaker speech and doesn't really need a call to action for the audience. However, it being such an inspirational and aspiring story, I would also want to know how can I get out of my childhood adversities and move towards accomplishing bigger things in life. That call to action would actually give me a great direction. And the number two recommendation that I have is closing the loop. Toastmaster Nagesh also mentioned about staying unwaged for one entire year. Now, I have lingering questions. Why were you unwaged? What was it that was going in your head while you were unwaged? And what was the plan of action that you had for the future? Answering this will give me a sense of completion sitting in the audience. All in all, I would like to say that was an impeccable speech, and I wish you all the best for all your future speeches. Thank you.
Thank you, Khushbu. And now I call upon Evaluator 3, Preeti Jain, to give the evaluation feedback for Toastmaster Chitrakshi's speech. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator, DTM Ranjani Rao. Am I clearly audible? Because last time I wasn't audible.
Yeah, maybe you can speak a little louder.
Okay, great. So just as a captivating movie begins with an intriguing opening scene, so did my target speaker tonight with her icebreaker speech. And it said that every great story starts with a bold first sentence. And tonight, Toastmaster Chitrakshi, that sentence was, "My life is over." And I immediately noticed a big broad smile on our timer, Toastmaster Sudharma's face, and she was trying hard to hide it. You also saw that, yeah? And this shows that you grabbed the audience attention immediately. Kudos to you on that. You are a queen of dramatics, and you know that. Voice modulation. You own the stage and spotlight. Very, very comfortable. Confident presence, always. Secondly, you took us to various unplanned trips and shared your weakness of not being planned, which showed your strength or power of vulnerability, and a big reason to opt out for the innovative planning pathway. Very good. Very swiftly, you also shared an unsaid message to the audience to know your intention or reason of opting out any pathway. We must be aware of that. So thanks for sharing that. Now some recommendations. You are already a triple path breaker. So I can very easily take the liberty to share the few points of improvements. And please allow me to share what I noticed. One thing which was very distracting, especially for me, was your excessive body movement and super fast hand gesture. Because on the Zoom, it was looking quite hazy when it was moving too fast, and it was very distracting for me. Secondly, as I know that you really own that voice modulation, you can play with it like anything. But today I felt that because you speak very fast, there were few moments where the emotions didn't come out well. For example, when you're talking about bungee jumping and you said, "I hated it." And that hate didn't come out in your voice. And third, Till the green light, you were talking about various unplanned adventure trips, and suddenly you changed the gear and you started talking about your weakness, pathways, spontaneity, goals, and you interrelated everything. I felt there was a quite abrupt weaving of the whole story and the message. So please allow me to give you two challenges. I know Icebreaker is not a space for our challenges, but I think I can give it to you. Please slow down. And second, weave your story bit more concise. Overall, you have a command over vocabulary, voice, and variety. Just slow down a bit and you're still going to win the marathon. I'm a big fan of yours and waiting to hear many more speeches from you. Over to you, General Evaluator. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Preeti Jain, for that elaborate feedback. Next, I would call upon Evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster Akshay Singh to give the evaluation for Toastmaster of the Day. Can Distinguished Toastmaster be spotlighted? Yeah, over to you, Akshay.
Good evening once again to each and every one of you. The Tea Talk presentation delivered during the Manage Online Meeting project by Toastmaster Vijayalakshmi helped me realize that Vijayalakshmi can easily switch between the two roles, which is the presenter and the facilitator. This was very evident throughout her presentation during the meeting. Online was truly ambrosial in its content and delivery. First of all, she was always smiling, which added a delightful tone to the session, making it incredibly welcoming. The tea trivia which she brought in the end helped us think, at least it made me engage in a quiz-like experience. A good way to check who all in the audience are engaged or paying attention. The second aspect which I loved about her presentation was practice of summarizing each prepared speaker's speech in a highly effective manner. It helped her consolidate her takeaways, but also reminded me what have I taken back from the particular speech. This demonstrates the ability to adapt the presentation as per the speaker which has already shared their content. The third aspect, every time when she was introducing any speaker role player on the spotlight, she made a very small gesture, but it made a big difference in creating positive and welcoming environment, which we thrive for in Toastmasters. As per the club mission, she gave an introduction of each and every speaker. So that was done very well. Now let me share with everyone in the meeting, as well as Toastmaster Vijayalakshmi, what are the other ambrosial recommendations which I have for you for your future presentations. First one, the visual elements such as images of various tea varieties or even a prop like a cutting chai or a saucer and a cup would have helped to take and make this tea talk or chai pe charcha session a bit more engaging. These visuals enhance the engagement but create a captivating and immersive experience for me, thus managing the entire online meeting. The second aspect, which is to enrich the meeting by utilizing the Zoom technology. You chose a platform which is Zoom to manage the online meeting. Well, you could have encouraged the participants to interact with you by sharing their thoughts, asking questions, insights via chat, emojis, reactions, a lot of different elements to induce some dynamic and interactiveness in the online meeting. The third element is break the monotony. Every online meeting we attend of Toastmasters is similar structure. We have polls, we have 3 segments, you introduce the speaker. What different you can do? You could have introduced real-time polling, or you can have asked, when I share about something about the tea, which expression or which aroma comes to your mind, and show it via reaction, just to engage and breaking the monotony so that your presentation is something which I remember, and this online meeting which you have managed is something I will never forget. In the world of online meetings and presentations, the tea talk session was truly an ambrosial experience. Engaging presence, effective summaries, thoughtful introductions added a unique touch. Inclusion of captivating visual elements, increased technological platform interaction, and breaking the monotony. I'm sure the next time you are taking this project or even managing an online meeting, it will be something to look forward to. Over to the General Evaluator.
Thank you, Distinguished Toastmaster Akshay Singh. May I now call the timer to present the timing report?
Thank you, General Evaluator. I will share my report now. Hope you can see my report. And all the prepared speeches were qualified within the time limit. For table topic speakers, guest Bushra disqualified with 2 minutes and 51 seconds, and Faisal KV disqualified with 45 seconds, and Toastmaster Mita M. Saha disqualified 51 seconds, and all the evaluators were qualified. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, timer. Now I call upon Grammarian Toastmaster Bimpy Kumari to share the reports.
Yeah, sure, General Evaluator. I'm sharing my screen. Please confirm if you can see the screen.
Yes, the screen is visible.
So the word of the day was ambrosial. Can everyone unmute yourself and say this word once again?
Ambrosial.
Ambrosial.
Ambrosial. Yeah. So we can pronounce this word as ambrosial or ambrosial as well. So the meaning was incredible, delicious, and fragrant, as I said earlier. And the sentence is the food came and it was ambrosial. So who all the Toastmaster have used this word? First one, Vijayalakshmi, Toastmaster Vijayalakshmi, Toastmaster Rakkesh, Ravi, and Toastmaster Diana, and Toastmaster Akshay Singh. And the good usage in the meeting was big bash, drizzling, deep-rooted, designated speaker, acrophobia, spontaneous, swiftly, and marathon. And the rhetorical devices, the first one is the question, have I convinced you all? Said by Toastmaster Rakesh Ravi. What are all the tea talks happening? Said by Toastmaster Lakshmi, Vijayalakshmi CD. What will happen if tea is banned? Toastmaster Mitesh Rajendra has asked this question. And the anaphora, we didn't go. We are not sure. Said by Toastmaster Chitrakshi Vij. And the descriptive name used, best tea have before bedtime, was chamomile tea. And the proverb used by Nagesh, Toastmaster Nagesh sir, that is, I sell ice cream if you want to please everyone. And the another proverb or item used by Khushbu Modi, that is, close the loop. Hyperbora used by question and answer, that is, what happened? Let's celebrate and try to Rishikesh. That is said by Toastmaster Chitrakshi Vij. I am sure. Am I sure? No, I am not. Said by Toastmaster Chitrakshi Vij. The next one is what happens next is obviously gossip. Toastmaster Ravyasha Agrawal. And the rule of the three, that is repeated thrice, said one of the guests, that is something wanted to say, something wanted to speak, something wanted to tell. And another one used by Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Saurav Datta, find it in beer, find it in whiskey, find it in wine. And the metaphor used by DTM Nagesh Ramamurthy, kicks the ball like Lionel Messi.
No, that was by Khushbu.
Okay, sorry, Khushbu. My bad. Yeah. And the recommendation from my end, what I felt, what are all the tea talks happening? Instead of what are all tea talks happen? He enjoys doing instead of he enjoy to do. At the evening, instead of that, we could have used as in the evening. Over to you, General Evaluator. This is all the grammarian report from my end.
Yeah, thank you for that elaborate report. May I request somebody to read Dana's evaluation? Who do that? Table topics. I think table topic master. Yeah, May I request Saurabh Datta to read?
Or Vijayalakshmi, you can only read it
Yeah,
for.
yes,
Please.
yes. I will read.
Yeah, sure.
I will. Toastmaster Diana says, "Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. My favorite beverage is also tea. I think it's part of my life. Toastmasters Club has helped me to improve the speech, and the ambrosia of the tea makes her more powerful, and she will have the more ability to be stronger to attend and be part of this meeting. Thank you, Toastmaster Diana. It was very wonderful to read your speech, and it's very lovely. We all love you. Thank you, Diana.
Thank you, Diana, for penning down your thoughts so beautifully. And thank you, Toastmaster Vijayalakshmi, for reading it out for us. Thank you so much. So coming to my report, the Sergeant at Arms Chaitanya started with tea, a beverage which we all can connect, right? Anytime, everywhere is that tea time. He also stated the mission statement, introduced the Toastmaster of the day, Karthik, with a lovely introduction. And not Toastmaster of the day, sorry, Presiding Officer. Presiding Officer Karthik, what an energetic start it was. And I love the way that you gave enough opportunities for the guests to introduce themselves, Faisal and Bushra were the two guests at that point in time. And you gave them opportunities to introduce themselves. That was very well done. I also love the way that you talked about the 100-year-old organization Toastmasters for the benefit of at least the guests. So that was very well done. And you also gave us a glimpse of the Gabbys milestone meeting 3rd anniversary. And I felt that I was not invited for this beautiful meeting. So you can keep us in mind for the next milestone meeting. And congratulations and kudos to you for achieving this 9 DCP goals. That is an incredible one. And I love the way that Saurabh Datta also intervened and remembered to thank the ExCom officers for the diligent work. So very well done. And the theme tea brought a lot of imagery in front of us. The rains, the pakodas, the people, the gossip, tea. I think this will all remain etched in everybody's mind for a long time. I think whenever I, in fact, hold a cup of tea, I think this theme is going to come back, flash in my mind. Toastmaster Vijayalakshmi, that was also, your project, one of the project, very well executed. The introduction and then the speaker, you flawlessly executed and throughout engaged the audience with the nitty-gritties, as well as, giving us that trivia of what all T stands for. I must say it was a very engaging and, fun-filled, tea-filled meeting, I should say, and very well connected with the theme. I just have one kind of recommendation. Whenever you're introducing the speaker or anybody, you will give your introduction. For example, you will not say the next evaluator is Distinguished Toastmaster Akshay, but you will say this Toastmaster, the next evaluator is a Toastmaster who is working in an IT firm, etc., etc. And let's welcome Distinguished Toastmaster Akshay. So the name should always be reserved at the end so that we as an audience should know, be curious enough to know who is that speaker or the evaluator going to be. Timer, you laid down all the tag team members, the timer, our counter explained the roles very well. And I don't know, the timer at the start of the meeting laid down the timing guidelines for the entire session, the prepared speech, table topic, speech evaluation. In fact, the timer started with table topics, first. I don't know whether that would confuse the audience. Probably for each segment, you can call the timer and ask the timer to introduce so that as we as Toastmasters are aware of it, probably it might confuse the guests. So this could be avoided. Our counter explained the guidelines well. Grammarian, whenever you're a grammarian, any role bearer is already introduced by the previous speaker. So no need for that particular person to say, today I am the grammarian, my name is so, etc. That could be avoided. And I love the way that you introduce the new word of the day. I think I missed out the listener's role, and I will come back to that, after presenting my report. I'm sorry about that. Speaker 1 and Rakkesh, all the three were icebreakers. So beautiful choice of words. I love the way the confidence oozed and the choice of words that you used. But one recommendation I have is, as an icebreaker, you're breaking the ice, and we as members want to know more about you. Although you shared a lot about your cricketing, passion, I found somewhere that I missed out on knowing about more about your family, siblings, school, education, current job, and why you joined Toastmasters. Probably speakers can read the speech objectives, and at least the 3 speeches of the first level should be mentored by an experienced speaker so that the speech objectives of the speech are met. Speaker 2 also delivered the icebreaker, as well as speaker 3. So I felt that, in my opinion, the evaluators can, a reading of the same objectives, which can be avoided. So the Toastmaster can set, today we have 3 icebreaker speeches. The objectives are going to remain the same, and it will not be read out by evaluator 2 and 3. So in this way, we are also aware, and time is also saved. And speaker 2, distinguished Toastmaster Nagesh, somehow I felt that your left hand movement was restricted. I don't know for what reason, whether you were sitting or I could see only the right hand gestures. Probably, I don't know whether you were sitting. Probably standing up will give you more flexibility to use your hand gestures naturally. And coming to table topic master Mitesh, he did a wonderful job inviting around 9 speakers and giving them topics connected with the theme of the day. So that was wonderfully done. And the first speaker, Ravi, convinced me that gossip, in fact, is not bad, but it is an energizer. So next time I'll remember that. Jyoti, speaker 2, you had a conversation wherein you talked about your sister and brother-in-law having a conversation, and the green light, card just flashed. Probably you could have dwell deeper into the topic by telling what exactly you want in life. When you get married, I don't know whether you're married or not. When you get married, whether you would like your husband to prepare tea, so that you could have stretched the topic and shared your own perspective to the topic. And I love the way guest Bushra took part on the topic of coffee or tea, and you spoke confidently. I think you had all the, good characteristics of a good speech. You use a voice modulation, hand gestures, and probably giving names to the characters will help. And instead of just saying each, it gave us, opportunity to share your stories. You can share your story about that, just mentioning, instead of just mentioning, sharing stories. Speaker 4, probably here I felt that Toastmaster, table topic master can reduce the word count of the topics given. Some of the topics were very lengthy. How to shorten it? For example, describe your reaction if you are not allowed to drink tea. Probably that could have been little condensed by saying, if you were not allowed to drink tea, something like that. So, and also the table topics speakers can refrain from saying, thank you for giving me such a good topic, it's really a good topic, etc. Guest Faisal also spoke confidently and shared a good points despite being a guest. So that is wonderfully done. And also visiting Toastmaster District 51, good take on the topic. Saurabh Datta, great, take, as well as I love the way that you structured your table topic in the same way as we structured the speeches. Fida Faisal, visiting Toastmaster, we could not hear much as we lost the connection. And last, Mita, whom I would recommend that the videos are switched on when the speaker is speaking, so that it will help us to give more recommendations, for your speech. The Toastmaster of the day, I think the poll was called without the time, without checking whether if all the speakers are qualified for the table topic speakers. So that could be taken care of. And evaluators in general, I found that one evaluator was speaking on behalf of the audience. For example, the audience were engaged. So evaluation is your personal perspective. So do not refrain from including the audience. And evaluator 2, I just have, you also prolonged your commendations and recommendations too much, and in the summary you had to rush. So we can be cognizant of the time in future. And yeah, I like evaluation third also share the challenges, but I think summary somewhere, you missed out, because in a contest, summary carries 15 marks. So we can always keep this in mind. And distinguished Toastmaster Akshay used the CRC method, and he gave 3 recommendations to be specific. So that was well done. And I commend the, Grammarian as well as the timer for using the PPT. Great job done there. Now I would like to call the listener to ask us a few questions. Quick questions. Over to you, listener.
Thank you, ma'am. DTM Nagesh told us one quote of Steve Jobs. Can anyone tell during his speech? Anyone?
Your voice is breaking.
DTM Nagesh told one quote of Steve Jobs during his speech. Can anyone tell with me? Anyone?
Your time is limited, so don't waste it living others' life.
No. Anyone? It's sell ice creams if you want to please everyone. And which sport Toastmaster Chitrakshi tried in Dubai?
Bungee jumping.
Bungee jump.
No.
Bungee jump.
No, that is yeah.
Sorry?
Skydiving?
Yeah, it's skydiving. Who told it?
It's me, Smriti.
Oh, good. How many? Who was? For how many balls Toastmaster Rakesh scored century?
35.
Good. Yeah. When DTM Nagesh was a kid, how long he cried when his cousin went to bath instead of him?
4th grade.
No, how long he cried? For how many?
2 hours. 2
Yeah.
hours.
Okay. When did Nagesh give up playing outdoor games? DTM Nagesh.
4th grade.
Outdoor games.
10th standard.
Oh yeah, definitely. And how many years of bank experience Toastmaster Rakesh is having?
10 years.
10 plus 6 years. What do you, GE?
Yeah, thank you, Sri Lakshmi, for asking us. I think we all need to enhance our listening skills and be more attentive so that all of us could answer in the next time. So overall, I really thoroughly enjoyed. And also, last but not the least, a huge round of applause to all the members who have joined us, the guests who have joined us for making this meeting a memorable one. And now I hand over the stage back to the Toastmaster of the day. Over to you.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Zoom Master, can we have the voting poll for best auxiliary role taker, best role taker, and the best evaluator? So in the meantime, you all vote. I would like to thank everyone for attending this meeting, and also the significance of the tea gathering that goes beyond beverage itself. And it reflects the warmth, hospitality, and social nature of the society. Remember, tea and the engaging tea talks can continue to connect us even after this meeting. So with this, I hand over the stage to the presiding officer of the day, Toastmaster Karthik. Toastmaster Karthik?
Yes. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Vijayalakshmi. Can we have a big round of applause to Toastmaster of the day, Vijayalakshmi, for giving us a taste of tea? Though we have tea every day, but today the tea was different because we were having the tea during our meeting. So thank you so much, which was a different feeling to all of us. Once again, give a big round of applause to Toastmaster Vijayalakshmi. Thank you for that engaging theme you gave us today. Okay, now it's time for the feedback, and I would like to ask a feedback from our esteemed guests who are in our meeting today. So I see Bushra. Could you please let us know how did you feel? I mean, how did you experience with today's meeting? I hope I am pronouncing your name correctly, Bushra or Bashra. Please let us know.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthik. It is Bushra. Thank you. You pronounced rightly.
Okay.
And yeah, I really enjoyed the concept of having tea along with the meeting, because generally the meetings that are in the evening, we are sipping tea, but then we pretend that we are not drinking or eating anything, and then pretend to be in the meeting. So I like the concept. And the other thing that I enjoyed about the meeting was Toastmaster of the day. Look at her, she's cheerful even now. So the vibe that she's creating in the meeting is really nice. I enjoyed whatever she spoke today. And I got to know about this meeting through Facebook, and I thought that I'll just attend the meeting and revive my Toastmaster memories. So I really enjoyed the meeting overall. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bushra. May I know, are you right now a Toastmaster?
No, actually we had a club in our college, but then now it's not working. So I'm trying to join here and there. Yeah.
Hope you get back on the Toastmaster journey and again relive your public speaking. Thank you so much for your lovely
Thank
feedback.
you.
And yeah, let's move on to the next guest. Whom do we have? Faisal.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for giving me chance.
Yeah.
It was nice being with you for the last 2 hours and I enjoyed. And actually, I was a member in Qatar for few sessions. Later discontinued for the last maybe 10, 12 years. I have no connection with Toastmasters. Now I am back again and I need to brush up my speaking skills. You need to help me out. Okay, with your all help, I will be able to enhance my skills. And hello.
Yeah, tell me. Yeah, please go on.
Thank you for giving me this chance. Okay.
Thank you, Faisal, for coming up. I mean, for coming and joining us in today's meeting. And yes, hope you get back. You also get back on the Toastmaster journey. And thank you. And hope to see you in our next meetings, coming meetings. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
Sure, thank you. And last but not the least, I would like to thank all the role takers for taking up the roles and making this meeting a wonderful meeting. And would like to thank all the guest role takers. My thanks to DTM Ranjani Rao, Distinguished Toastmaster Ranjani Rao, for accepting this general evaluator role and giving us that pertinent evaluation. Thank you so much. And I would like to thank all the guest role takers as well. Toastmaster Khushbu, Distinguished Toastmaster Akshay Singh, thank you for accepting the roles and making this and giving your insightful evaluations. Thank you so much. Now it's time to announce the results. Yeah, so Diana, you want to speak? Okay, I'll spotlight you. You can unmute yourself and speak. Yes, what do you want to speak? Thank you, Diana. So while you are on spotlight, let me declare the result for the most enthusiastic participant of all time. And you know who is that? It is none other than Diana. Give a big round of applause for the most enthusiastic participant of all time. Yes, we can hear that joy, Diana. Give a big round of applause to her. Give a big round of applause to her dedication and passion towards speaking. Thank you. Thank you, Diana. Thank you. we wish again, please come back on Saturday's meeting. So Thursday's meeting, we do have speech marathon. See you on Thursday. So now let's move on to the next results. The best table topic speaker. And you know who is the best table topic speaker? He is none other than distinguished Toastmaster Saurav Datta. Give a big round of applause to him. Okay, now the best role taker. Who is the best role taker? Any guesses? Yes, our esteemed distinguished Toastmaster Ranjani Rao has won the best role taker as general evaluator. Give a big round of applause to her.
It was unexpected. I thought the TMOD did a fabulous job. Thank you, anyway. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Ranjani. And yes, even the Toastmaster of the day did a great job, and as well as the table topic master did a great job. Let me tell you, table topic master Mitesh, you did a great job as well. Thank you so much. Now let's move on to the next results. The best evaluator. Whom do you think is? I have the results in my hand. Any guesses? I'll give a chance to guess this one. Any guesses? We had four evaluators.
Master Khushbu.
Okay. Yes, it is Toastmaster Khushbu who has won the best evaluator for today. Give a big round of applause to Toastmaster Khushbu. Okay, last but not the least. Which one is left? That is best prepared speaker. But you know, we don't have best prepared speaker polling because we had icebreaker speech. So we usually follow a tradition of not having polls for best speaker when we have icebreaker and pathbreaker speeches. But today, all three speakers were fabulous. So give a big round of applause to all our speakers today. All three icebreaker speeches. So that was our meeting, and hope to see you back on Thursday. That is at 7 p.m. We have a speech marathon wherein we have fabulous 9 speakers and fabulous 10 evaluators, and also a great Toastmaster of the day and timer coming in on the Thursday. So see you back on Thursday at 7 p.m. Thank you so much for coming up in today's meeting. Thank you. See you all. Bye. I'm ending the meeting today.
Bye.